this is Paula with Pilates. Today we're going to be going over some of the things we talked about last week, and we're also going to move into our workout, okay? Some moves are going to be similar to what we did last Tuesday, but some things are going to be different today. Some things I want you to remember is that in Pilates, you want to increase your flexibility while stabilizing muscles and making those same muscles mobile, okay? In all of these exercises, don't forget your form, and definitely don't forget to breathe. I will cue you along the way to make sure you're inhaling and exhaling as need be. Try your very best not to hold your breath no matter how difficult the move may feel or seem. Just do the best that you can, okay? So we're going to start out with cat like we did last week. That's with our hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're trying to create and maintain stability in this move. We also want to remember our terms that we reviewed or that we started to remember from last week. There's our imprint. That's where our back is pulled into the mat. So our belly button is pressed to our spine and our spine is pressed to the mat. I'll review that again when we get to that position. And then we're going to practice our scoop and our holding our core muscles in for stability here in the core, okay? So hands underneath the shoulders, fingers are going to be spread wide. Feet are going to be what we call plantar flex. So there's the bridge of the foot down. Our back is going to be nice and long. Remember, we don't want to hyperextend, so we don't want to put a dip where our belly button is or have our belly button pulled or drawn towards the mat. Instead, we want to draw our belly button in. This is our scoop, okay, from this prone position. And we want to make sure that we have a nice long spine down our neck and down to our tailbone, okay? So we're going to drop our tailbone. We're going to lengthen our spine. We're going to tuck our chin. We're going to allow our chin to hover over our chest. And we want to make an attempt to look for our belly button. And then we're going to come out of this move. And we're going to come back to our flat back. Okay, we call it a flat back because if I had a bowl of soup or a small child, I could lay that child or that soup on my back and it'd be nice and safe. All right? So drop your tailbone down, lengthen your spine, round your shoulders, press your palms into the mat, allow your chin to hover over your chest, and then come back to flat back. Remember, every time we round our back, we should be able to look between our knees and not see our feet. That tells us that we're in good alignment. If we tend to see our feet during this move, that means that we need to adjust so that our feet are opened up and are in direct alignment with our knee, ankle and knee. So go ahead and pull your belly button in, round your back, press your palms into the mat, and inhale and come back to flat back. Now let's exhale, pull our belly button in, drop our tailbone down, lengthen our spine, inhale, and come to flat back. It is okay to hear yourself breathe out loud. Again, drop your tailbone down, lengthen your spine, round your shoulders, press your palms into the mat, feel the shoulder blades open up, okay? Exhaling, and inhale and come back to flat back. One more, just like that. Starting looking down at your mat, you want to drop your tailbone down, lengthen your spine, round your shoulders, pull your belly button in, and inhale, and come to flat back. Good job. All right, now we're going to come to a supine position, okay? So our supine position is our position where we're laying on our back. This is where we're going to review our imprint, okay? Our imprint is when we pull our belly button to our spine and our spine to the mat. We want to make sure that whenever we're in this supine position that our arms are at our sides, our fingers are spread wide. Our feet for this one are going to be on the mat. Okay, our ankles are underneath our knees, our shoulders are pulled down from our ears, and we're looking straight up. Our chin is slightly tucked, okay, not all the way to the chin, not just yet for this exercise, but we're looking straight up and our chin is hovering over our chest, okay? So for this exercise, we're going to do our supine hip rotation. So we're going to take one knee and drop it off to the side. I'm going to start with the knee closest to you, so it's easier to see the movement. So you're going to drop your knee off to the side. You're going to slide your pinky toe along the mat. That's where my big toe is pointed at the end. I'm then going to rotate my leg so my big toe taps the midline of my body, okay, taps the mat, and then I'm going to drag my ankle so that it ends right back underneath my knee, right where I started, okay? So remember, you're still pulling your belly button in, pressing that belly button to the spine, spine to the mat, and we're going to do that same move again. Drop the knee off to the side, extend the leg, rotate. Notice I'm not twisting my body. We don't want that. We want to keep our back flat on the mat. So my ankle is turned in, my big toe is tapped the mat, activating my hips, and then I'm dragging my foot back in. Okay? One more time. Drop the knee off to the side, extend the leg, rotate, and return. Now let's add the breathing. So we're going to inhale. Now we're going to exhale, push the leg out. We're going to inhale and rotate so the big toe taps. And we're going to exhale and drag the ankle back underneath the knee. One more time on this side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. Switch the legs, okay? Same thing on the opposite side. So drop the knee off to the side. Push out that leg. Extend the leg so the pinky toe has slid along the mat. Rotate so the big toe taps the mat. And return, bringing the ankle back underneath the knee. Again, drop your knee out to the side. Extend the leg. Notice that this knee is not wobbly off to the side, even as I do this move or rotate the opposite leg. Inhale. Now exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. 2 more times on this leg. Opposite leg. Inhale and exhale. You should feel a nice stretch on the inner part of your pelvis, okay? And return. Okay? One more time with the breathing. So inhale and exhale. And inhale, rotate. And return. Very nice job. Okay, now we're going to do alternating leg raises, okay? So we're going to raise one leg up with the rotation or using the rotation of our hips. So the knee is over the hip, okay? And knee is in line with the ankle. And we're going to lift the other leg to meet it in the air. Same position, okay? You see how my legs match? That's what I want your legs to look like. And then we're going to lower down, okay? I did not bend and then lower, but I simply rotated my hip down, lowering my foot down, turn my hip, lowered my other leg down, okay? So we're going to lift and lower and lower, okay? Lift, doesn't matter which leg you start with, lift and lower and lower. Let's do it together. Go ahead and lift the other leg. Now lower and lower. Keep your imprint. Lift and lower and lower. You'll feel your core engage. Lift upper abs, lift lower abs, lower and lower. Now let's breathe with it. So inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, lower. Now I'm going to omit the words and simply show you the move with the breathing, okay? Very nice. All right, let's turn on to our side and let's do our spinal rotation. So I'm going to talk you through this just for 1 second before I do the move so that you can hear me while I show you after I go through this talk, okay? So when we're doing the spinal rotation, we're going to lay on our side. When we lay on our side and on the mat, we want to make sure our bottom shoulder is pushed all the way to the back edge of our mat, okay? When our shoulder is pushed back to the back edge of our mat, our tailbone will line up and we'll be in a nice alignment along our spinal cord for this move, okay? Our arms are going to be stacked with our palms touching. Our knees are going to be drawn up to a 90-degree angle, okay? So I'm going to show you everything that I just explained, and then I'm going to try to say it. If you cannot hear me, I will do it again once I turn back around to face you, okay? So you're going to turn onto your side, okay? You're going to line up your bottom shoulder, okay? If when you get to this mat, you have all this space, then you're not lined up. So you're going to push your bottom shoulder back to the back edge. You are then going to line up your tailbone, your glutes, and the heels of your feet also to the back edge of your mat. You're then going to draw your knees up, okay, to a 90-degree position. So you should look like this from the back. Now I'm going to face you. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to face you so you can see what the exercise looks like as you do it with me, okay? So I am placing my bottom shoulder down first, line it up with the back edge of the mat. I'm laying my head down nice and comfortably on the meaty part of my shoulder. I'm taking both hands and I'm stacking them. Palms and fingertips should match, okay? I am then going to make sure that my tailbone is lined up before I bring my knees to a 90-degree position, okay? So now I'm going to draw my knees up, so I'm in a 90-degree position with my knees. And I am not going to tuck my heels back, but I'm going to kick my toes out so that my knees and my ankles are stacked right on top of each other, okay? Again, remember, the most important part is this bottom shoulder lining up, or it's one of the most important parts. Bottom shoulder lining up with the back edge of the mat. That is important in order for you to get the full range of motion in this exercise and for you to really engage the parts that we're going to be working today. So your hands are going to be stacked. Your head is going to be down and comfortable, okay? You're going to be facing forward. And to add on to this, after we've gotten into our position, we are going to lift our oblique. So you see that space that's underneath me? I'm going to try to maintain that space for the entire time that I'm doing this exercise, okay? And I hope you will too. So we're going to take this top hand and we're going to rotate it away. Take it away from the bottom hand. As we rotate it away, we're going to look, turning our head to look to see where our hand is going. Then we're going to stop just above the floor. Fingers going to be spread wide. We're going to inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the palms back together. Okay? That is the entire exercise. See, my oblique is still up. The side of my abs are still up off of the mat. So palms are touching. We're going to inhale. And we're going to exhale. Take the top hand away. As we exhale, a little bit at a time, allowing the rotation to happen, keeping our knees on the mat. We're going to feel a nice little twist in the lower back. Inhale. Exhale and bring the palms to a close. Okay? So let's take the breathing out of it for a minute and let's just do the motion. Take the top hand away. Rotate. Fingers open. Allow the hand to hover over the floor. Inhale. And exhale. Okay? Again, top hand comes away from the bottom hand. Rotate, follow the hand. Allow your chest to be open for at least a second. And then bring the hands back to a close. Okay? Now let's include the breathing again. So inhale, pulling my belly button in, my oblique or the side is still off the mat. I can still push my hand underneath there. Might be hard to see with my black shirt against this purple mat, but that's what you're going for. Take the top hand away, inhale, exhale as you rotate, inhale, and exhale as you bring the palms back to a close. Good. Now we have to do the other side, okay? So come on up to a side-seated position. Swing your legs around. Go ahead and get into position. Bottom shoulder, push all the way back. Head is down on the meaty part of the shoulder. Hands are stacked. Remember, even if the hands are stacked, you want your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder to still be in alignment, still lining up with each other, okay? I know I use the term alignment a lot. I didn't explain what it meant, but in alignment means all in a line together, okay? That's the goal, all right? So, with our knees stacked in a 90-degree angle, okay? Knees over the ankles, hands stacked, head down, okay? And don't forget to feel behind you to make sure that your tailbone is right where it needs to be. My tailbone is right where it needs to be. And my oblique is going to be up off the mat. See, I can tell, and it's going to stay there. And I hope yours will too. So we're going to do the move first without the breathing. Taking the top hand away. Rotating, following the rotation. Allowing my hand to hover over the floor. My knees stay down on the mat. And then I'm going to bring my palms back together. Okay, now let's add the breathing to it, okay? Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bring the palms back to a close. Good. I'm going to do it again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now I'm going to give you an opportunity to do it by yourself, and we're just going to breathe together, okay? One more. Good job. All right, let's turn over to our back. Going back to that supine position, okay? And we're going to do hip rolls, all right? So, in doing our hip rolls, remember, arms are down at the sides, shoulders are away from the ears, okay? We don't want to be hunched and tense. Our feet, our legs are going to be in a bent knee position, and our ankles are going to be underneath our knees for hip rolls. So we're going to take our hips and we're going to drive them up to the ceiling, okay? Most of the pressure or the weight is on your shoulders, not on your neck, because your head remains down, okay? So most of the pressure is on your shoulders and your upper back. Your arms remain at the sides, okay? And you've pushed your hips all the way up, all right? Knees are bent. You're going to feel a little bit of a mild discomfort in the back of the legs, in the front of the hips. That tells you that you're doing it just right, okay? And then we're going to lower down one vertebrae at a time. We're not going to always hold it that long. I just wanted to explain to you some parts and some feelings that you should be having, okay? So I'm going to drive the hips up and lower down, okay? You should not be adjusting your feet at any point, okay? So you shouldn't be moving your feet forward or backward in between. They should stay lined up together, knees lined up together, feet lined up together, okay? Hip distance apart with the feet. Hip distance apart. So not close together like so, but hip distance apart like so, all right? Okay, here we go. And drive the hips up. And lower down. Inhale. Now exhale. Inhale and lower. And exhale and push up. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. 2 more. Exhale. Last one. Very nice. Okay, now we're going to move into our Scapula Warm-Ups, okay? So, we're going to take our arms, our shoulders actually, and we're going to raise them up to our earlobes, okay? So, that is called progression and regression of the scapula. So, we're going to take our shoulder blades and we're going to shrug. I call it a shoulder shrug too. Shrug. Allowing our hands and our arms to elevate or be elevated over the mat, hovering over the mat. And then we're going to pull our shoulder blades down, all right? So remember when I said don't cause any tension while we're doing these exercises? Well, now I'm telling you the opposite. Now you can shrug your shoulders up, create that tension, and then release the shoulders and bring them down. Still keeping our imprint. My belly button is still touching my spine, and my spine is still pressing to the mat. And I'm just shrugging my shoulders up and releasing, creating that tension, okay? Inhale first, then exhale, shrug. And then inhale, release. And exhale, shrug. And inhale, release. And exhale, shrug. Inhale, release. Exhale, shrug. Inhale, and release. Now we're going to take our arms and we're going to swing them up for what we call scapular protraction and retraction, okay? So when we protract, we keep our head down on the mat and we simply use our fingertips to reach for an imaginary subject that is in the ceiling, okay? So we reach up, that's a protract, and then when we bring our shoulders back down to the mat, that's a retraction, okay? So we are making sure that our shoulders, wrist, elbow, and shoulder are in alignment. We're going to inhale, and we're going to exhale and reach up and pull down, okay? And reach up and inhale, pull down, okay? And exhale, reach up. Inhale, pull down. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, pull down. 2 more. Reach up. And down. Last one, just a breathing. Very nice. Okay, now let's bring our arms above our heads for 3 arm circles. Let's turn our palms out and let's circle. That's 1. Inhale, bring our arms above our head. Reach our fingertips, turn our palms out and circle. That's 2. And reach above our head. Inhale. Turn our palms out and exhale. That's 3. Very good. Okay, now we're going to move into an exercise called 100, okay? With 100, if this is your first time working with me, or if you've never done 100 before, I'd like you to keep your knees bent with your feet on the mat, arms at the side. Everyone's arms, whether you've done 100 or not, should be at the sides, at your sides, hovering over the mat, okay? And again, if you've never done 100 before, I'd like you to keep your head on the mat. Otherwise, if you want to make an attempt to come to a scoop while we do 100, you're more than welcome to, especially if you've done 100 before, all right? Otherwise, you can just stay in this position with your head down on the mat. Everyone's arms are going to bounce up and down, okay? And you're going to inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. For this exercise, I'm going to do the first half of the exercise, so the first 50 of these, and I'm going to say inhale and count for you and exhale and count for you. But for the last 50, you're only going to hear me breathe so that you have an understanding of what it should sound like, what it should feel like, what it should look like with all this extra talking, okay? All right, so arms at your side, head in either this down position on the mat or in a scoop position. I will do both so you can see both, and everyone's arms are going to flap up and down, okay? Here we go. So, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the arms. If you're in a C curl, hold that. And then lower down one vertebrae at a time. Okay? So what we just did was 100, all right? We did 5 inhales, 5 exhales, okay, for each set that we did. And we did 10 sets. That equals out to 100, all right? We also kept our knees bent with our feet planted on the mat, our arms at our side with our arms actually hovering, okay? And if you've never done this exercise before, your head remained down, but you saw during the second half where there was no talking and I was just breathing with you that I came up into I scooped, but this also is called a C curl, and had my arms by my side bouncing up and down, all right? Whenever we do this exercise, remember your chin should hover over your chest and you want to look between the ceiling and your knees, okay? Not tucked and not with your head looking or with your eyes looking behind you, okay? Just some things to remember. All right, the other exercise I want to do with you today is a single leg circle. So you're gonna come back to your supine position. Your head is gonna remain down. One knee is gonna remain bent. The other leg, though, is going to come to a 90-degree position. You're gonna extend your leg into the air, okay? Now with this exercise, you might not see this because it might be out of camera shot, but your toes are going to be pointed. So whenever you extend that leg into the air, make sure the toes are pointed, arms at your side, head remains down, looking straight up at the ceiling, okay? If at any point in time during this exercise, having your leg extended in this way is too much, bring it more to a bent knee position. I will do both so you can see both. I will start with the bent knee position first. Still keep your imprint, and what you're going to imagine is a clock on the ceiling. We're going to rotate our leg clockwise as well as counterclockwise. But we're going to go all of clockwise first, and then go all of counterclockwise. And I will instruct you when we'll make the switch, okay? So, we're going to circle or form or trace the circle of that clock with our big toe. And if your knee is slightly bent, okay, then you might have a little bit of a smaller circle. But if your leg is extended, then you're going to have a bit of a bigger circle, okay? Even while we're doing this exercise, my knee is not wobbly, so it's not doing that. It is nice and stable with my ankle underneath my knee. We're going to do this circle 2 more times, now 1 more time, and now we're going to bring our leg back to our start position, and we're going to move counterclockwise, so the opposite direction. So we're going to circle in the opposite direction towards the midline of the body, okay? Again, if your leg looks like mine, then you perhaps have a larger circle that you're tracing. If you have a bend in your knee, then you have a smaller circle that you're tracing, and that is perfectly okay, okay? You are going to feel this right here in the crease of your pelvis, okay? In your hip flexor. You're also going to feel it down the front of your leg, okay? And if you have your toes pointed just right, then the front of the bottom of your leg is also going to have the muscles contract, or you're going to feel the muscles contract. So 2 more times in this direction, and 1 more, and then we come back to the start position, okay? So you saw me do that on the first leg. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the second leg, okay? So my first leg is going to take a break in this bent knee position. My opposite leg is going to be extended into the air. Toes are going to be pointed. Remember your options, because I'm going to talk to you about breathing now, okay? So we're still tracing the clock on the ceiling. Our leg is either extended or bent a little bit at the knee, okay? Still keeping our imprint. I'm going to start with the bent knee for this side. So I'm tracing my circle in the ceiling, okay? I am allowing my hip flexor to help me to rotate. I am keeping my other leg nice and bent, okay? I'm also inhaling every time my knees come closer together, exhaling when they're farther apart. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And I'm going to extend my legs so you can see the same thing. Inhale, wider circle, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 2 more on this side. Inhale, exhale. And last one, inhale, and exhale. Now we're going to move counterclockwise. Same leg, counterclockwise. So, trace the circle in the ceiling, exhaling first, then inhale. Exhale, inhale. And as you can see, my leg is still extended. My toes are still pointed. So, exhale, inhale. Now I'm going to bend my knee slightly so you can see the same motion can be done. Two more. And last one. Bring my leg back to the start. Put a little bend in it and lowering it down to the floor. Great. Now we're going to move on to heel squeezes, okay? So we're going to turn over into our tummy. And we're going to bring our feet, or place our feet so the bridge of the foot is down, okay? We're then going to take our elbow, put them underneath our shoulders on both sides of our chest, okay? We're going to be looking down at the mat. Now you'll find that I'll turn and face you and talk to you, of course, so you can hear me a little bit better. But you want to make sure that your pinky finger stays down on the mat, thumb is up, and you're looking down at the mat. You're going to press the front of your pelvis into the mat, causing you to squeeze your glutes even before we start the exercise, okay? Then once you're in this position, you're nice and lined up, I'm going to ask you, or I would like you to, bend your legs at the knees and bring only the heels of your feet together. So stay where you are so I can show you what that looks like from the bottom of my foot. So bringing the soles of your feet together is just this, okay? Just the soles. Toes are facing the opposite or facing out. That's what your feet are going to look like when we're in that prone position, okay? So, I hope you didn't move, but elbows underneath the shoulders. Bend at the knees, heels together, okay? Toes extended out to the side. Front of the thighs are pressed into the mat. Pelvis is pressed into the mat. And all you're going to do is overlap your hands while you're here. Bring your forehead to the back of the top hand. And then we're going to start the exercise. Now, when we do this exercise, I want your head to look like this. Forehead on the back of the top hand. Please do not do this exercise with your head up like this. I am doing so you can hear me, not so that you can be injured during this exercise, okay? So I'm going to talk you through this exercise, then I'm going to do it with my head down in the proper way, and then we're just going to do the exercise together, okay? Here we go. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my heels and I'm pushing them together, okay? While my head is down on the mat, on the back part of my hand, okay? My head is staying down. I'm just squeezing my heels together. Your glutes will contract. You'll feel it here in the medial parts of your glutes. You'll also feel a mild discomfort, but nothing to be too concerned about in your lower back because your back muscles are being engaged, okay? So when we squeeze our heels together, okay, we're going to exhale. When we release, we're going to inhale, okay? So exhale when we squeeze, inhale when we release. If I sound a little bit muffled, that's exactly what I'm saying. Squeeze, exhale, release, inhale, okay? Here we go. Squeeze, exhale, inhale, release. And squeeze, exhale, inhale, release. Squeeze, exhale, inhale, release. Squeeze, exhale, push your heels together, inhale, release. Keep your head down, please. Squeeze and release. Squeeze your heels together, press your pelvis into your mat, and release. Squeeze your heels together, and release. Two more. Squeeze, release. One more. Squeeze, and release. Very nice. Okay, now we're going to go into a stretch called shell stretch, okay? We're going to place our hands on the opposite sides of our chest. We're going to push up and sit our glutes back. Now, when we sit our glutes back, we're then going to put our forehead on our mat with our arms extended above our heads. Now, while we're here, we're going to look to make sure we can see between our legs. That tells us that we're in good alignment. And once after that, we're going to take our arms and round them and bring them to our sides. Okay? Now, when we do shell stretch, we are simply rounding our back from this position. We're pulling our belly button in. We're rounding our back. And you'll feel your spine lengthen as we do so. You'll feel your shoulders pull down, okay? And a nice little stretch between your neck, your scapula, and your upper back, okay? Then we're going to come back down to our start position, okay? So we're rounding the back, and then we're releasing the round. And we're rounding, and we're releasing, okay? Now let's add our breathing into it. So we're going to inhale, we're going to exhale and round, and inhale and lower. Okay, let's do that again. Exhale, round your back, inhale, and lower. One more, exhale, round, and inhale and lower, and exhale and round, and inhale and lower. Very nice job. You can lift your head up and come to a seated position. Here, crisscross applesauce with me. So we're going to go ahead and round our arms up and inhale and exhale. Two more, inhale and exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. Very nice job. All right, let's talk for a few minutes. So today we did Pilates. We did a few moves that we did last week that you might be familiar with or felt more comfortable with this week. And then we did a couple of new moves, okay? Some things that we continued to work on was our imprint. That's us bringing our belly button to our spine and our spine pressed into the mat. What you should see after that is an imprint of your shirt or an imprint of your shoulder blades pressed into the mat once you get up from that position. And that tells you that you've done a great imprint, okay? Some of the things or keywords we talked about were scoop, okay? So when we scoop, that's when we're in our all fours position and our hands, our palms are pressed into the mat, and we pulled our belly button in and we tucked, and then that was our scoop, okay? We also went over making sure that everything was in alignment. So alignment meaning everything in a line or all in a line. Remembering that every time our knees come over our hips, our knees, our ankles should be in alignment with our shoulders. If our arms are raised, then our shoulder, our elbow, and our wrists are in alignment. Or if they're down on the mat, then our shoulders pull down, and still our shoulder, elbows, and wrists are in alignment. Alignment is so important to Pilates because remember, Pilates is all about stabilizing the muscles, then making them mobile, therefore strengthening them over time. If you're not familiar with Pilates, you're feeling a little bit sore after we do these classes, that's okay. That's a totally normal feeling to have. Make sure you drink lots of fluids. Go ahead, get out there and walk and get moving so that your muscles will get used to what we're doing in class. Please don't forget to come back next week for class. We'll be doing some of the same and some things are a few that are a little bit different. We'll be working on our breathing. We'll be growing. We'll be excelling. We'll be doing more, okay? Remember, in Pilates, after 10 sessions, you'll feel a difference. After 20 sessions, you'll see a difference. And after 30 sessions, you'll have a whole new body. I'm wishing you a great rest of the week. And I hope to see you back here next Tuesday. Have a good one.